What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where we get higher than Amaterasu staring down from the heavenly plane and tell you guys stories from mythology and folklore.
Shit people used to believe in.
Shit people used to actually believe was true for the most part. Today...
A lot of people actually believe that Shinto.
Oh, what? Shinto, yeah, that's actually kind of still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people still believe that one, which I believe it. Yeah, I mean...
I'm more of a Norse. Yeah.
But yeah, today's story, we're going to be doing the Serpent King or the Serpent Prince. The version we're using is called the Serpent King. But if you're looking for different versions, you can find them under either the King or the Prince. There's multiple different versions of it. They floated all around Europe for the most part. There was a Celtic version that I thought was kind of cool because it made him, the serpent also made him seem like a sea king type of creature. But this one is not. We're using the Italian folklore version, which is way more dark.
Like a fucking horror story.
Yeah, it's way closer to a horror story than it is a Disney story. But yeah. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So without further ado, Kimbo, why don't you go ahead and take her away?
Hold on, one more hit. I'm so sorry.
One more hit. Get yourself situated. Get yourself all situated.
A long, long time ago, there lived a king and queen with no kids.
No kids.
No
kids. Yeah.
Every night, the queen would pray for babies, but her prayers were never answered. One day, walking in the woods, she stopped to admire the animals who happened to be caring for their babies.
All of the animals have babies. Look at the little lizards and the little birds and baby snakes, while I sit here barren and without children.
Well, wow, I can see why.
Yeah.
When you smoke like 2 packs a day.
While I sit here just barren and without any children to speak of.
Just then, a mama snake slithered by with her babies.
I would even be satisfied with a serpent child. I don't care. I'll take a snake baby if I have to.
Ooh. The queen went home and not long after realized that she was pregnant. When the day came, the townspeople gathered and rejoiced. Only when she gave birth, it was to a serpent. So the court was confused as fucked, but the queen remembered her wish. That sounds pretty fucked all around.
Ooh, that's a snake that just crawled out of me.
How did it
It's
get there in the
okay. I
fucking first
remember
place?
the one time I asked for a serpent child.
Did it come out as an egg or did it come out as like a serpent?
It sounds like it came out as a snake.
Because that makes it a mammal now.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, that's a weird. Oh God, that's got to be a weird feeling too.
Realizing her prayers were answered, she decided to raise the snake as if it were any other child. She put him in a big iron cage and fed him the same thing they ate. That does not sound like a healthy growing up. Big iron ass cage.
You're not supposed to feed him human food.
The serpent ate a lot and began to grow very fast. One day, once he had grown into a full-on anaconda, the maid came in to change the bedding, and he spoke to her, saying,
"Tell Papa dear that I want a wife in here with beauty and money. So now get your ass out my cage and go get me some honeys."
Wow. So the maid was reasonably scared as shit and told the queen that she wasn't about to fuck with the snake anymore. So the queen took up feeding the monstrosity herself. When she went to the cage, the snake repeated itself.
"Tell Papa dear that I want a wife in here with beauty and money. So get your ass out my cage and go get me some honeys."
Wow. The queen wondered to herself,
"Whatever will I do?" Oh, geez. By golly, whatever will I do?
So terrible outcome. I love that you can change voices so quick.
Oh my God. What has my snake spawn begotten me?
All right, so naturally, Queen went out to the poor part of town and offered a farmer money for his daughter. Some farmer sold his daughter, and they were wed. Wow. How little? 2 pennies?
She was
So quick to sell your daughter like that?
$5 for your daughter. Oh, she is my daughter, but I don't have $5 right now either.
She's not. Ours is not touching anyone until they're 30. And even then we'll have to talk.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
they'll have to have at least $10.
Shut up. They had a huge celebration. The serpent even got out of his cage and came to the party. So he usually spends his time in the cage.
Yeah, he usually just hangs out in the cage. Wow. But they invited him out to the party. Yeah.
It has a grow light on it.
Yeah. He's
so
just
warm,
sitting there under a
hair.
heat lamp on a rock.
Nice. The newlyweds went to bed, and in the middle of the night, the serpent woke her up, saying,
"What time is it?"
Knowing it was around 4 a.m, she answered, "Well, it's about time that my father gets up and gets his hoe and tends to the fields." The snake replies,
"So you're a farmer's daughter."
Sorry. The serpent lunged at her neck and killed her. The next morning, the maid, who for some reason is bringing him breakfast after having sworn off fucking with the snake, showed up and saw the body, and she freaked out, and the serpent said, "Timbering style.
Tell Papa Dear that I want a wife in here with beauty and money. I said beauty and money, motherfucker."
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Next time, bring bacon. I want the whole pig, not just the bacon slabs. The queen, who is now an accomplice,
Yeah.
an accomplice in the murder, decided to put in a call to the cobbler that lived across the street. He had a daughter and had a gambling problem, so they agreed on a price. Yeah. What, $20?
$20, yeah. What's your gambling bet?
Whew. Again, they had a huge celebration, and after they went to bed around 5 a.m, the snake woke up his wife, saying,
"Hey, baby, what time is it?"
She replies, "It's the hour when my father gets up and starts hammering on his cobbler bench."
"So you're a cobbler's daughter."
Ah, fuck me. Ah. In an instant, the serpent struck and bit her fucking face off. Wow. Killing her instantly. Clearly, I did not write this, guys, but I am reading it for the first time with you, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
He killed her instantly. The next morning, the maid came in and found the body, and the snake repeated his phrase.
"Tell Papa Dear that I want a wife in here with beauty and money. I said beauty and money, motherfucker."
Anything else? Want some weed?
"Now get your ass out of my cage and go get me some honeys."
I know Mexico sells some pretty nice weed.
I hiss at that.
That's the only kind I've ever known.
What am I, a bee?
So the mother tried again to find a suitable bride, for her son. This time she reached out to the emperor. You forgot the M in there.
The emperor.
Emperor.
The emperor.
The emperor.
The emperor of the land.
I'm going to keep going with it. The emperor wasn't about to let his only daughter marry a giant fucking snake. However. Oh my god, I found a seed.
Woo.
We're going to grow this.
Bonus. We're going to become farmers. Then we're going to sell our daughter for super cheap to a snake.
However, after talking to his wife, the girl's stepmother, he realized that he had to put the sex swing in her room. What? Wow, Dustin.
Yeah, he's gonna sell her so that he can have a bang shack with the stepmom.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
That's basically what I was getting at there. That was kind of what they made it sound like too. Like the stepmom was like,
"No, get her out. We got things to
send
do."
her. Yeah. It's good that she goes because then we'll get a lot more alone time together.
Oh.
Yeah. And think of all the things we can put up in her room.
And just like that, his daughter was sold.
Poof.
Before leaving, she stopped by her mother's grave to weep and ask it a question. "Dear mother, what am I to do?" From beyond the grave. Oh. From beyond the grave, her mother answered.
"Listen, girl, go ahead and marry the snake. But, on your wedding night, wear 7 dresses. And when it comes time to consummate or whatever, tell him, you will only take off 1 layer of clothes every time he takes off a layer of skin. Okay, bye!"
Because he's a fucking onion. Okay.
Bye!
So the two were married, and on their wedding night, she set her plan in motion. She gradually stripped. Every time she pulled off a dress, he pulled a layer of skin off. And eventually she was naked, and he pulled off his final layer of skin, revealing that he was actually an attractive man.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy.
Then
Then they went to bed together, and around 2 a.m, he woke up.
What time is it?
Bride said, "The hour when my father gets home from the club." A little later, he asked again, and she replied, "It is the hour when my father eats his supper." The next morning, he asked again, and she said, "It's the hour when my father calls for his coffee." He smiles and kisses her, and then says,
"You are my true bride.
Because she is dense.
But you must tell no one. I am a human, or else you will lose me forever."
Then he turned back into a snake, and she said, "I'll do exactly as you say, my husband." And the snake replies,
"Listen, every night there is music and shit in the court. You go down there. Everybody gonna wanna get you dancing with them. Don't you fucking do it, though. But when you see a knight in red show up, that'll be me. Dance with me and only me."
Oh, shit. So the party went on, and the princess showed up. Everyone was asking her to dance, but she turned them all down. The king and queen found it rude, but assumed that it was out of loyalty to their son. So the Red Knight showed up, and she danced with him through the night, Cinderella style. It was magical. Once the guests departed and they were alone, the queen grabbed her by the hair and said, after she smoked 10 packs,
"What do you mean refusing everyone and then dancing with some stranger all night? How fucking dare you?"
The wife went back to her room and told the serpent about the abuse from her parent-in-laws. And the serpent told her,
"Never mind all that. Now listen, you're gonna catch 2 more beatings from my parents.
Jesus.
At the end of the 3rd night, I will be human forever.
That doesn't sound rational.
Tomorrow night, I will come in all black. Dance with me and only me. And when my parents beat you, endure it in my name."
That evening, there was another ball, and again the princess refused to dance with anyone except for the man in black. When the guests left and she was again cornered by the king and queen, the queen said,
"Are you gonna pull this shit every night? Either you do what we say or else. This is gonna hurt you way more than it's gonna hurt me."
No shit. They took out sticks and beat her until she was covered in bruises, and then sent her back to her room. She wept to the serpent, who promised her 1 more night of beating and then some good D.
That's his offer. 1 more night of beating, my love, and then this D shall be yours for eternity.
The secret D. The next
the
party.
D. The sacred D.
The next party came, and this time he showed up as a monk. They danced, and while they were dancing, the king and queen decided that they had enough. They grabbed their sticks and they attacked. The monk tried to dodge, but was caught by the stray blow. And as soon as he was hit, he turned into a giant bird and then flew through the window, breaking it, and injured his head.
Ow!
Now would you see what you have done? That was your son, yelled the wife.
I love that voice. That was your son.
It took me a minute to realize that was my line, because the way you wrote it this time was completely different than you usually write it. Yelled the wife afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
That poor girl.
I know, for real. When the parents realized their violence was responsible for losing their son, they started tearing out their hair and begging for forgiveness. The princess slapped them and said, "Get your shit together. There's no time to lose." And she grabbed 2 bags of cash and set off after the bird. On her little broom. No. First she met with a geyser?
Glazer.
There's no L.
There's no guys. Then that does say gazer. Gazier. Glazier.
A glazer weeping over a bunch of broken windows and stopped to ask what was wrong. He says,
I don't sit here done doing my windows, sitting down there with some shrimp, grease done come. Did goose done come? Did bigger down goose done come through pecking, wallowing, making a whole damn mess, done got glass all up in my shrimps up in my glass.
And what would that all cost?
Or that don't run you about $3.50.
So the princess gave the Loch Ness Monster his $3.50 and took off in the direction of the bird. Wow. Next, she came to a goldsmith shop with a young man weeping in front of it. She approaches them and asks the man, "What's the matter?"
I was just sitting here minding my own business, totally paying attention to my job, like I was supposed to, and this fucking big bird with a head wound came in and destroyed the shop. My gold shop.
What was all the broken stuff worth?
Fuck it, let him kill me. Flay the skin from my body before I can think anymore.
Quit being such a drama queen. I'll pay you. How much was it worth?
Fuck. I totally... Huh? Oh, lucky I remember this. Let's see. If you carry over the 1 and the 9, take the 2 by the...
The man started quickly doing the math. After adding
$6,000.
the prices before coming to the conclusion of $6,000.
$6,000.
He told her which way the bird went, and then shat in his boss's desk. He shat in his boss's desk, and then kept the money to open his own shop. Mm-hmm. Wow! After a little while,
and the funny thing is, I embellished that. Of course, he did not shit on his boss's desk in the actual story.
No,
but the whole let him kill me, flay the skin from my body before I can think anymore. That was pretty much directly his line, and he directly turned around after that. And as soon as he got the money, did go open his own shop.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after a little while, she came to a tree where all the birds roosted. Looking up, she spotted the big fucking bird with a head wound. She called up to the bird, "Husband, please come home with me." The bird ignored her, and she climbed up the tree to plead further. "Husband, you have not made this marriage easy. Please, for fuck's sake, come home." Yeah. Portman, open your portal. Yeah.
No.
She kept pleading and begging to the point where the other birds took pity on her, or just got annoyed and started telling him to go with her. But instead of going, he pecked out her left eye. His wife kept begging and pleading, only to have her other eye taken. What the fuck?
Oh, God, you just pecks out her fucking eyes. This poor girl just... and they're a murder family. I'm pretty sure it's a murder family. Like,
obviously. Yeah. So she says, "Guide me, husband, please. I am blind." And he did not, though. Instead, he brought down his beak hard, chopping off her hands. What the fuck? She fell to the ground, and he flew off back to his parents' house, where he turned back into a person. Fuck you, dude. Everyone rejoiced at his return. His mother whispered to him,
"You did the right thing killing that girl. She was that ugly troll. You could do way better, Boobala."
What an evil bitch. Meanwhile, the princess was crawling down the street blind and bleeding out. A little old woman happened to come by and ask her, "What's the matter, pretty maiden?" And the princess told her story. And the old woman, who just so happened to be Madonna, led her to a magic fountain.
Yeah.
She was Madonna.
Like a virgin.
She dipped her stumps in and they regrew her hands. And then she washed her face and her eyes came back. Wow. Then Madonna gave her a wand that could give her anything she asked for. That's a nice
Yeah,
woman.
that's a nice move. Madonna's got the money for it. We all know she's got the money, so why not, right?
The princess used her magic.
Wand.
With a J.
Magic. I'd put a J. Magic. She
To make
used
a
her
castle
magic.
appear.
Oh, yes.
And to cross... Okay, so the princess used her magic to make a castle appear across from the prince. It made his palace look like shit. It was solid gold with gems everywhere, and it were all types of animals.
Mm-hmm,
And it were all types of animals. So she
like
made a zoo.
She basically made like a palace zoo, but no cages. It sounds like they were all just like
Animal Kingdom.
freely walking around while she's
Noah's
just like
Ark.
eating grapes on the golden leaves.
Nice.
Yeah.
In the next morning...
In the next morning,
the king and the queen looked out of the window to see the new castle, baffled. And the prince came out and said,
Papa, look at that wonderful palace. What important people they must be to get this erected overnight."
Seeing him, the princess stuck her head through the curtains, and he got a glimpse and then said,
Papa, I want to marry her. Now that my third wife is dead, please, Papa, can I?
The queen replied,
"Go on, don't be silly. There's no telling who she is. You think that she would even pay attention to you? You're wasting your time even thinking about her."
But the prince had made up his mind, and he was going to have another wife. So he sent the gifts, fancy embroidered linens, and she responded by throwing it to the chickens. He told his mom, and you got a big, fat, "I told you so." Next he sent a ring, which she threw to her birds to peck on the prince. Oh, she sent it to the birds to peck on. Sorry.
Yeah,
The prince wanted to send more, but the delivery maid was too ashamed. So instead, he came up with a new plan. He built a coffin and got inside, and then he had his servants carry the coffin out to the streets. Seeing this, the princess came running down to see his body. And when she bent over the coffin, he finally got a good look at her and then sat up and said,
"My wife, how happy I am to see you. Come back to our inferior palace, please."
What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Are you just gonna breeze by to the part where you tried to kill me?
I was under a spell?
But to free you, I danced with you for 3 nights and your parents beat me.
Oh, no, totally. Good job on that. If you hadn't, I would have stayed a snake like forever.
And
then I would have been a snake and a serial killer.
And when you were a fucking bird and you took my eyes and hands?
Oh, no, it's totally another curse. Totally a different curse. Thanks, though. Without maiming you and leaving you for dead, I would have stayed a bird forever.
Okay, we can get back together then. So they got back together. And his parents came to her and begged her for forgiveness. She forgave them. And then they called for her father, the emperor, and they drank and made music and danced for a month.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a twist that's like a Shyamalan grade twist of a happy ending. Like, no way this ends happy. No way this ends happy. Wait, she's for some reason okay with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I also so there's definitely some points that I think are even funnier that like make him out to be worse. Like and those were points I altered the dialogue a little bit on his point to accentuate how bad he was. Like he didn't mention anything about it being his third dead wife.
I like
when
how
he
the
saw her
king said
first.
nothing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that's my favorite shit.
Yeah, he's just like
He's probably just shaking his head.
not
I'm
fucking dealing with this.
shit.
Papa, can I please marry her?
Talk to your mom.
This
He
sounds
just
like
points-
This
just
sounds like
points at his
he just points at the mom. That's a mom problem. I got my own shit to deal with, kid.
Says the king. Pointing to his wife.
Well,
Ask that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and I
like-
mean, there was some, and I'll admit that too. In the stories I read, both of the versions of the stories, the king and the queen alternated a little bit more in their lines. But I honestly, when I was doing it, I was like,
Queen all the way.
I don't want to have to add another character to, randomly,
Just
like
say an
once
extra
to have
thing.
one line in the fucking every couple pages. So it's
Yeah.
like, it'll all be the queen talking.
Sounds good.
Plus, who doesn't love it when the queen gets up and plays someone? Everybody loves the voice of the queen these days.
Nice.
She's a real shining superstar. Star.
I can't even do that. Shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Huge thanks to our references. Italo Calvino was one of them. The book Italian Folktales by Italo Calvino.
And retold.
Yeah, selected and retold by Italo Calvino. And I also just could double check and find some other sources. Fairytales.com. There is also a different version of the story, very, very similar though. And yeah. Those are the two main ones I referenced for the story.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank
Nice.
you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All that good stuff.
Comment. Give us some shit.
Comment. Yeah, give us a shout out. Pick some crazy stories you want us to tell. I'm probably gonna start coming up here in the future with some stuff. Maybe some little polls that we'll throw out on Facebook to let you guys choose which story we do next. Maybe a little multiple choice action.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look for that. And yeah, look for
If
more
I ever catch
episodes.
up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Guys.